This film looks in brief at the 5 key drivers for reducing in-school variation. South Dartmoor Community College has been at the vanguard of tackling ISV. Principal Ray Tarleton identifies 5 key areas to focus on.
You have to know the data of your school. It's a bit like the lifeblood of your school, and if you understand the data in your organisation, then it's almost like having an X-ray of your school. Teachers are given baseline data that's very sophisticated here in terms of how it's assessed. They're regularly given upgraded information, and they're asked to track their own individuals in a class in comparison with how those same students are performing in other subjects. The second one will be student voice. We've taken it quite a long way in terms of developing a system which our students can use to make recommendations to staff. The children have a thorough grounding in observational techniques, but their only focus is the other learners in the room. They're not looking at the teaching at all. They're looking at what the children are learning, and they've been given a series of descriptors which they use. They will talk about interaction, engagement, the way in which students assess their own work, the way in which the environment helps support students' learning, what's on the wall, what sort of organisation is being used, classroom activities and so on, but not what the teacher is doing. Usually, if there is a discrepancy between 2 departments, it's because the teaching and learning is not sufficiently motivating and challenging in one area. So we've tried 2 approaches to this to make sure that our teachers offer the very best. And the first is a thing called a learning observation. All our teachers, as in any school, will go through a performance management observation where their line manager will watch them. But we've introduced a system where every member of staff has to go and observe 3 different teachers, different subjects through the year, and carry out an observation where they go as the learner rather than the judge. The next one will be standard operating procedures. These are really important because so often you introduce initiatives, you suggest to staff that it would be good for them to see each other's practice or for students to respond to what's going on in classrooms, but you don't actually put in place a clear system. So we have got a series of systems. We do train our staff very effectively in the use of those systems. We robustly monitor that they're taking place, we document things, and we share. Too often, leaders in schools have ducked the issue of in-school variation because it's uncomfortable to actually bring in colleagues and say, well, you haven't been doing very well. Here's a department that is doing better than you are. What is it in your area that you think needs to improve? Those are all really quite controversial questions. And so it does require quite focused leadership in order to persuade staff that this is a valuable exercise and that you can improve performance.